Someone predicted the Capitol Hill riots and Black Lives Matter back in 1991. You don't believe it, right? But it happened. And remember Donald Trump lost the election in 2020? Then riot began, right? And the predictive book published in 1991 suddenly rise up to $2,500 per each in China. It's so unexpected, but the author now is one of the 7 most powerful officials in China, which means he's in the core of Chinese government. Strange, right? His name is Wang Huning, unknown to the West, but highly influential in China. Why his book written 30 years ago now goes viral? What's the content anyway? Let me introduce him to you. Wang rarely appears in public, but he's served as the top advisor to 3 Chinese presidents, Jiang Zemin, Hu Jintao, and Xi Jinping. While leaders have come and gone, Wang has remained, earning him nickname like the man behind the man. Wang was born in 1955 and grew up in a privileged family. He studied French and read a lot of Western books, means he was influenced and looked up to the West. By age 30, he was the youngest professor at Fudan University, one of the best in China. Yeah, he's brilliant. In 1988, he received a grant to visit the US for 6 months. He traveled to over 30 cities, visiting museums, universities, and even Amish community, doing his research. So, what is his goal? To understand why a young country like America had become so powerful while China, with its 5,000-year-old civilization, had fallen behind. But what he found disturbed him. Yes, the US was wealthy and open, but it was also deeply divided. Rich versus poor, black versus white, city versus countryside, state versus state, male versus female, locals versus immigrants, etc. He saw homelessness in New York, drug addictions in Los Angeles, and young people disconnected from their own culture, clueless about thinkers like Rousseau, Luther, or Kant. To him, America looked like a nation in decline. These experiences became the foundation of his most famous book, America Against America. In the book, Wang described a society where the system works against itself, a country rich in material success but torn by contradictions and moral confusion. After returning to China, he focused on one big question: how can China modernize without falling into the same trap as America? He feared that China's embrace of capitalism could bring the same divisions and chaos he saw in the US. He worked late nights developing his ideas to protect China's identity. In 1993, during a university debate in Singapore, Wang spoke about the decline of Western civilization. Remember, in 1993, that was the peak of the United States. In the audience was then President Jiang Zemin, who was so impressed that he invited Wang to join the Communist Party's leadership. From that point on, Wang helped shape China's ideological direction. He argued that the country should avoid Western liberalism and instead strengthen its roots in Marxism, nationalism, and Confucian values. And we can see his influence today: patriotic education in schools, restrictions on foreign extreme content, and tight limits on youth gaming. The goal? Prevent that Wang saw in America: moral decline, social decline, and loss of cultural identity and confrontation from every aspect. He also played a key role in shifting China's economic focus from Deng Xiaoping's get-rich-first era to Xi Jinping's common prosperity. Wang believed that without narrowing the wealth gap, China could face the same social fractures as the US. So when the Black Lives Matter and the Capitol Hill riots happened, many Chinese felt Wang's prediction had come true. China's young generation are eager to read his book, but not in the market anymore. So the price went high even for a second-hand book. And on a lot of Chinese forum platforms, users quoted his book. With Wang's book, we finally see the real America, not the fans anymore. Wang's ideas helped explain why China has chosen its own path, away from Western values and toward a unique model of governance. So there's no authoritarian, no democracy, or no any other governance, just a good governance or bad governance. If you want to understand China's direction today, you have to understand the man behind the curtain. Even now, when she enters a meeting, Wang is there, watching quietly, shaping the future. I mean, you have to see the roots underneath the false prosperous. Although time will tell in the end, what if you know it 30 years before others? You may be the one of the most successful people on the planet. What do you think? Follow me, more insights.